Yeah,
process?
botchain, we launched that in March. It's still an ongoing concern. We basically created a subsidiary out of Tala, the last startup I worked at. So it's sort of as if so I did Tala, and then we created a subsidiary, and I worked on that, and designed, hired, and then launched in March the foundations of botchain. And then we brought in a bunch of about 10 partners that represent a lot of different bots. So botchain is sort of um, it's a platform where you can do three main things with bots. And a bot we define very loosely. A bot could be like a chat bot, but a bot could also be an automated process, an independent automated process that's making a decision. So RPA, robotic process automation, falls into that category as well. Um, so what we do is we allow you as um, the platform itself has three main categories of things. One is identification. So we allow everybody to register their bot or their bot process on the bot chain to have an immutable permanent address. And that's used for validation of identification. So if one bot in the future, the way that we theorize this and how this would look in 10 years is that, you know, you've got a personal assistant chat bot and you say, go move money from this bank account to that bank account, or, you know, go buy something. My wife has an anniversary coming up. Let's buy her flowers. It can go out and search this registry of bots to go chat with, to to make the transaction, to complete the transaction. And if it's talking to your bank, or if it's talking to the flower shop, you want to be able to have a handshake of identification to know that, so that either you're talking to a computer or your computer is talking to someone else's computer. Both of those cases, you need identification so that they can shake hands, and each of them know that they're talking to the entity that they think they're talking to, which is important. So we built that first. The second layer that we built on top of that is permanently storing the transaction that occurred. So in the future, I think bots, AIs will talk to each other more than they talk to humans. So you'll have bots and AIs running around doing negotiations with each other, finalizing some sort of negotiation and moving on in a sub-second time frame. So what we wanted to do was be able to keep a permanent record of what's happening at all of these intersections of bots, and within your company and outside your company, et cetera. So we created a way to create basically a hash and a timestamp that gets put on the bot chain, that you can go back and do an audit on, you know, what happened and why a decision was made, for future reference. It could be for future government reference, could be for tax reasons, it could be for something went haywire with the bot and we want to figure out, try to back into what happened. So, you know, the second part of what botchain does is create permanent records of what's going on with the bot ecosystem. And then the third category of things we built and we're actually putting out to the community is building a marketplace for bot skills and other types of things that bots can share amongst themselves. So, for example, if a company, for example, our first customers are all bot companies. So we may have a partner that has 50,000 bots that they've created and they support for all these different companies. They can register all those bots for all the identity stuff. They can use the storage. They can use the, you know, storing the transactions. And let's say they're in a certain industry and they have some sort of knowledge around answering questions, or there's probably a lot of things in this marketplace that I haven't come up with yet, but it may be, so I have a bunch of knowledge that all the bots can use. It may be related to geography or something. It's like, hey, why don't we all use a standard way to talk about geography amongst all the bots in the world? They can put it there and share it, and the bots can consume that. So that's the third part, is like, how do you plug additional capabilities into this ecosystem Some that we've thought of and some that we probably haven't thought of yet. So those are the three things that botchain does. Launched it in March, and it's out there and active and all that. So that was my last project before this company.